And the coal and steel community was one of the first sharing economies, and that is a great story, and it worked remarkably well for a long period, and I think we should stick to that story, to that narrative, but we have to, in a way, update it, or in modern ways you could also say upcycle it. We have to make it cool, sexy, interesting again.
Have people own it.
Yeah, I mean, I use the example of my daughter, who's watching all the time Hamilton, a musical about the American Civil War. And, how can we create something like this if the old American sort of Civil War can be sexy to young people, to teenagers? What can we do equivalent in Europe? The European story, I think, is even more sexy, is even more cool, is even more relevant, because it brings Europeans together instead of having wars. And how can we update it in an interesting way? And that's, I think, that's where we should get in, the European Cultural Foundation.
I think the Hamilton example is a really interesting one, because what is it about that has caught the fire? And the story is one thing, but it's who's telling the story. And I think that's one of the things that European Cultural Foundation has been trying to do, is make sure that we're bringing out voices and having the story told that's in an inclusive way, and not so much so a single perspective on it. And the coal and steel, one of the things we also said so much with the European Cultural Foundation is the founders, so Robert Schuman, Denis de Rougemont, all said that, Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, that Europe needed more than the coal and steel. This is valuable, needed culture. So I think we need to come back to that, or forcefully step up the game, as you say, to say, what is it that we can bring, that culture can bring, that is so desperately needed, I think, in these times of huge fragmentation, and the story being usurped, as it were. So also thinking about who tells the story, I think, is good.
No, I think in fact we had the phase where economics was a tool, because in the founding fathers of the European project, they had a bigger vision, the vision of peace, prosperity, stability, and they used economics, coal and steel, agriculture and things, to make that come true.
It needs sharing of narratives. It needs sharing and combined ownership of those who feel left out from those who, the elites, or which is often identified as the European heart, where the European heart is everyone else as well, so.